Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Puborama, and in today's video, we are going to be breaking into all the rocket-powered vehicles in Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. We have the Rocket Voltic, the Toreador, Vigilante, Scramjet, Oppressor, and finally the Oppressor Mark II. All of these vehicles are incredibly unique in their own ways. Now, I do want to point out that there are other speed boost vehicles in the game. Obviously, the open wheel cars have their own speed boost, and as well as some of the arena war vehicles have speed boost, but they're not rocket boost. I'm talking about vehicles that got a big ol' engine shoved on the back, like the Coil Voltic. Now, this is definitely the worst of all the rocket vehicles in the game. Why? Well, it was the first of all the rocket vehicles added into the game. And as we know, usually the first iteration of a lot of vehicles are not the best. This car just, well, it only has a top speed of 124.5 miles per hour, which is not very fast when you think about it. In fact, for example, the Adder, which was a car originally released on day one of the game, is able to go 124 miles per hour. So this car basically is the same speed as an Adder. Why? Why does a rocket car go the same speed as literally just a normal supercar? And by the way, this is in the super class. So not only is it quite poor on its overall top speed, but as well it has zero missile protection and it has no weapons, plus you can't even store it in your garage. And judging that the fact this vehicle costs $2.88 million, and that's even with the trade price unlocked, yeah, it's just, in my opinion, one of the worst vehicles to actually buy in the game. There's no reason to own a Rocket Voltic, especially when you can own this vehicle right here, the Toreador. First of all, this vehicle breaks 135.5 miles per hour on average for its top speed, which is great. You'll notice just how much more powerful that speed boost is, and because it's so quick, you get it back very, very fast. Now, the Toreador has an unlimited amount of missiles, which is absolutely amazing. And as well, this vehicle can actually be used in missions, which makes it one of the best mission vehicles, period. The fact that you have unlimited missiles and you can use this vehicle in the missions is insane. I should also point out that the Toreador can go underwater, as it has a submersible mode you'll see right here. There you go, little fins pop out, and it can use that speed boost underwater, as you can see. Another amazing ability of the Toreador. It can be stored inside your Kosaka or any garage you own, and the car just looks amazing as well. I should also point out that it can survive up to 5 homing missiles. When you add all these things together, yeah, there's no downside to the Toreador. It is just everything amazing that you want combined into one car. Because of that, I do believe that this is actually one of the best vehicles to buy in the game, let alone just the rocket vehicles comparison. Now, this car cost $3.66 million, so it's definitely not cheap, but I can't say it's not worth the price for how good it is. Next up, we have the Vigilante. This is the only other vehicle from these listed cars here and motorcycles that can be used in missions. Now, the Vigilante does get missiles. It also looks very, very sweet based off, obviously, the Batman. Unfortunately, that's all that's really good about the car, because apart from looking really cool, it doesn't have many amazing attributes going for it. Like, the missiles are good, but as I said, the Toreador's missiles are just as good. And judging that this vehicle comes in at a price tag of $3.7 million, I can't even say it's that good of a deal. Although there is one amazing thing about the Toreador, and that is this. It just absolutely smashes vehicles out of the way. And as well, you can do this with all rocket vehicles, but the rocket boost lets you launch vehicles into the ground and everything. It's pretty fun. So overall, the Vigilante's main strength is that right there, which is just being able to absolutely badonker everything in front of you. But it doesn't survive any explosions, so anybody firing a homing rocket will kill you. It doesn't have any special ability apart from the missiles. To me, it's just a worse Toreador at this point. Now, it is fast. This is the fastest of the bunch. I almost forgot to say, goes 147 miles per hour when using speed boost, which is pretty insane. So that is the major advantage, I would guess, to say. That is quite a bit faster than even the Toreador, but personally, I just don't see it being a keeper when the Toreador exists, and it's got the missile capabilities, unlimited missiles, and everything else going for it. Next up, we have actually my favorite of the Batman vehicles. This is based off the original Batman, the Scramjet. Now, the Scramjet, I actually really like the look of. It is in the super class, as you can see. I'm actually surprised it's in the super class, judging that it is, well, kind of looking like a sports classics to me. But either way, it's fast. It's really fast, averaging 137 miles per hour with super speed boost. Plus, it does carry secondary missiles, as you can see. Pretty sweet. It also comes with the missiles free, and it has a jump, which means you can just launch super high into the air, as you can see. I mean, this is incredibly high. It is actually pretty insane what the Scramjet can do. Now, because of this, I do put this a little bit above the Vigilante. Because you can actually jump into the air, it means that, let's say there's an Oppressor Mark II or an Oppressor trying to shoot you, you can just kind of jump the vehicle into the air, boom, hit a missile, and then go back down like this. It's a really good way of protecting yourself, and because of that, I do think that the Scramjet is one of the better vehicles. Also, because its speed boost lasts so long, it definitely makes it more fun to drive. So I actually really like the Scramjet. It's just a super fun vehicle overall. And, well, the only problem is, again, the price tag. It's over $3 million to get your hands on this vehicle. So if you got a lot of money to spend, definitely not a bad car to buy. But again, Toreador just kind of wins the whole comparison, especially because it only goes 2 miles per hour slower. I should also point out that this vehicle, no explosion resistance. Now we make it over to the motorcycles. Now I should very clearly not have to say that neither of these have explosion resistance, and even if they did, you'd probably die if you got hit by one. We're going to start off with the Oppressor. Now, the Oppressor is the OG, and I actually still think that this is a super fun vehicle. You'll notice it has extendable little wings on the back and the front, and that give it a super cool flying ability, just like gliding a model airplane. So it's really cool to be able to do that. You can also just, you know, lower them back in whenever you want, and boom, start going on the ground. Now, the Oppressor is actually incredibly fast. With Speed Boost, you're able to go upwards of 150 miles per hour. You'll notice if you take a look at the speedo, that's 150 right there. Although I will point out that this vehicle does slow down quite a bit, so it averages about 145 in total. But still, that is really fast. This is by far the fastest motorcycle in the game when it comes to super rocket boosting, because it just gets so far. The only downside of the Oppressor Mark I is when it flies, you have to touch some sort of static object. For example, we're going to have to touch that, and then boom, now we're going to get our rocket boost back, and I can start using it again. So that is one thing to keep in mind about the Oppressor, is that you have to constantly touch the ground or something to get your rocket boost back. But overall, it is a very fun vehicle. I should also point out that it does get missile capabilities, which is pretty good. And I actually think that it's a bit better for missile avoidance than even the Oppressor Mark II. However, the Oppressor Mark II has a lot of other advantages going for it, specifically the flying capabilities. The biggest disadvantage I'd say the Oppressor Mark II has is the fact that it's a really lame vehicle. It doesn't have a really big rocket boost. I mean, this is it. Boom, there you go. That's your whole rocket boost, and you don't get it back unless you slow down the vehicle. Now, when it flies, you'll notice that if you're using the handbrake, you can get this vehicle to fly an average at 130 miles per hour, which is great. That actually makes this one of the fastest vehicles, let alone flying vehicles. While the Oppressor Mark II may not be missile-proof, it does have flares, and these flares are really effective at dodging missiles, so something to keep in mind. Either way, the Oppressor Mark II is definitely an amazing vehicle. It flies at 130, and you don't even need the speed boost, but when you use it, you can get up to about 150. It's just an awesome vehicle, all things considered. Overall, these are the 6 rocket vehicles in Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. Now, if I were to rank them in which ones you should get and which ones you shouldn't, I would say definitely buy the Oppressor Mark II, and you need to buy the Toreador. This is the first vehicle, in my opinion, you should buy. It's just amazing. It's great for missions, doing really any heist setups ever. Get the Toreador. Then I would definitely say the Oppressor Mark II is the next vehicle you should buy. Then I would probably say just the normal Oppressor, then the Scramjet, the Vigilante, and then never, ever, ever should you buy that vehicle. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye!